Hello everybody, so as many of you know, Michael Burry from The Big Short is one of the investors who I love to learn more from. I take what he says very seriously, and it has been great having his voice on Twitter over the past year or so, but he was just investigated by the SEC and he himself either decided to shut down his Twitter account or he was forced to. So as of now, we don't have any real updates from Burry regarding his thoughts on the current market except his quarterly 13F filings from Scion Asset Management. However, in going back and watching some of the talks and interviews he has done, and there aren't many of them, by the way, he's a very a person who keeps to himself a lot, it appears that there's a lot to be said just about how obvious Burry believes great investments can be. And during a talk Dr. Burry gave at his alma mater, which is Vanderbilt, he was asked about his contrarian bet against subprime mortgages and how he managed to find it. And his answer is very interesting to this question.
So I think it's difficult to time that very precisely. I think we'll have a warning though. I think a smart analyst, or I shouldn't say that because I don't even think I'm so smart. I was definitely 50th percentile here at Vanderbilt, no higher. I think if you just pay attention, you'll get a warning sign. Heck, when I figured out the subprime thing, I had to do it off human behavior and various sources of witchcraft wizardry in 05. By early 06, it was apparent in the actual filings that were being made every month. And you just had to look at that, and it was really easy. And so I think you'll see that. If you're thinking, oh, one day a treasury auction will fail, and then I'll have, I don't see that happening, because I think we have enough domestic consumers of debt, including the Fed, but including military pensions, whatever, Social Security, et cetera, that it's too easy for the government to hide that. And I don't know that you can wait for that.
So in other words, it's not as though you have to be the next Einstein in order to identify good investments to make. And in Burry's own words, it was obvious as early as 2016 that subprime mortgages would eventually blow up. All he really needed to do was read the reports which these lenders were releasing in order to grow enough in his conviction regarding this bet against the housing market. So in a way, to be a good contrarian investor such as Burry, you don't need to be extremely intelligent. You likely just need to have the patience to read through these long annual reports that apparently nobody else on the outside of these companies actually read. And that's the real beauty and also the drawback to what real contrarian investing is. And it is usually very unconventional and definitely not attractive to most people. You won't be enjoying the majority of your time with your friends, talking about your investments and having them, really approve of you. If anything, when people ask you about what you're investing in, the answers you give them will probably sound boring at best or pure foolishness at worst. And I've definitely been here before with buying into beaten down retail roughly a year ago, and I bought into GameStop and Bed Bath & Beyond for reasons of extreme undervaluation at the time. And at the time, everyone was very bearish on the markets in general. And, to buy into retailers who they saw as, going bankrupt was pure foolishness. So, long story short is I had to wait roughly 6 months before I saw my positions go up any. And if anything, they were down for a good 3 or 4 months in there. But when they did begin to go up, they went up higher than I ever really thought possible. So I'm just tying this statement from Burry in that not many people can do contrarian investing successfully because of this. It's just a very lonely and at times discouraging game to be in. And now it clearly is very rewarding at times, or it can be if done right, but the majority of the time you need to have confidence in your own opinion and stick with it through thick and thin. So all that being said, if you want to learn more about other contrarian investors out there and hearing the latest from what they have said, as well as new and different views on the market, just consider subscribing to this channel, and I hope to see you all again.